Disclaimer. This series utilizes AI-generated voices for the portrayal of fictional and public figures. These voices are generated using advanced text-to-speech technology and are intended solely for entertainment and creative storytelling purposes. Please note that the views, opinions, and actions of these AI-generated characters do not reflect those of actual individuals, and any resemblances to real persons living or dead is purely coincidental. We adhere to all applicable laws and ethical guidelines in the productions of this podcast. By listening, you agree to the creative liberties taken in the storytelling process and understand that this is a work of fiction. Thank you, and enjoy.
Ignite, united in heaven's light. Shadows fall, we stand tall. Through the veil we hear the call. On emerald light our flame. Together we embrace the game. Aurora, Aurora.
Hello everyone! Whether this is your first video, if so, I recommend checking out sessions 0, 1, and 2, or you've been with us all along, welcome. I plan to finish this arc, which is based on the homebrew D&D5e campaign I'm running with my IRL friends. Occasionally, you might notice similarities to other AI President content, but that wasn't my intention. This is more a tribute to the AI President campaigns I admire. While views are few, this project is a passion of mine, blending literary works and concepts I love. Feel free to explore my other creative videos, but for now, let's dive in. Grab your dice, and let's roll. All right, boys, pretty serious session. Who wants to do the recap? George, you probably won't be with us for too much longer. Why don't you?
Ben, I'd really rather not. I'll do next time.
That's fine. What about you, Barrack?
Well. Okay, I can give it a go. Well, Ben, you managed to emotionally scare a fresh-faced young party. I feel sorry for Gordon since he has not played with us before, but we met with George, or rather Yosef, a mysterious but friendly fighter who was organizing a group to get some gold for taking out the leader of the Night Stalker bandits, terror thief Titus. For the first time ever, our party decided to converse and see our compatibility, but just as we figured that out, we found a wrecked and ransacked merchant cart, and 3 night bandits were going through the spoils. We didn't do too bad. They got some pot shots and we eliminated them down to 1. But then he started screaming about this Mogran character, and he, I don't know how to put this, dissolved into the most horrifying thing that we, in or out of character, have ever seen. Shade, I couldn't cut it, but then we realized a little magic. Or maybe some light possibly took it out.
That was one way to put it. I am pretty sure you made Joe piss himself.
Dreadful. Is that what that awful smell was?
Had to be Gordon, and I'm pretty sure he still is wearing them.
That's not the smell of my pee, fellas. Need characters around a jar of pixie pee everywhere he goes. It wards off owlbears. It really works. This recipe was given to me by the wise old medicine man Freddy Frogfogel, or maybe it was croaky boy Kevin the Bulwark Bandit. The hoppiest little alchemist this side of the old bog. He wasn't just Jumpy Jack, I'll tell you. He had some genuine meatloaf up there. I'm talking brains. He could outthink a Spanx.
Yes, Joe. Please don't bring that jar of pee back out on the table again. The forest closes in around you as you venture deeper off the beaten path. The air grows colder, and the trees seem to huddle closer together, their branches like skeletal fingers scratching at the sky. It's getting darker, and an uneasy feeling settles over the group. The sounds of the forest seem to have fallen silent, leaving only the crunch of your boots on the underbrush. Then, suddenly, a blood-curdling shriek echoes from the bushes to your left.
What the hell was that?
Fellow travelers, I'm keen to the shadows, but never full know what lurks within. Look lively.
Bloody hell, what now? I've had it up to here with these woods.
I've heard this sound, many times before. That or never before? I don't remember regardless, though. If I have heard it, man, it might be a good sound. I'll go check it out.
No, Neeg, wait. Let's not do anything hasty. You don't know what that sound is.
But before anyone can stop him, Neeg shuffles over to the bush with a surprising amount of curiosity. You all watch in horror as he pushes aside the branches. What could be lurking behind there?
Aha. Well, looky here, folks. It's just a fox, a big old fox, but just a fox.
A fox. Neeg, my heart almost stopped. Wow.
That could have been anything, you daft git. Be more careful next time.
Yeah, Joe. It is indeed a fox. Don't know how you knew that, considering I hadn't said yet, but yes. The fox is indeed large. Its fur matted and dirty, with a noticeable wound on its leg. It whimpers softly, clearly in pain.
Poor little guy. Don't you worry, old Neeg's got you covered. Let me see what I can do. Let's see, I'll roll a nature and a medicine check. We got a 12 and a 16, respectfully, man.
Neeg, you recognize that this fox is no ordinary animal. It's been enchanted somehow, but you're not sure by what or why. You also successfully tend to the fox's wound, and as you do, it calms down, its large eyes gazing at you with newfound trust. The wound begins to heal rapidly under your care.
Nice work, Neeg. I didn't know you had it in you.
Just a little know-how and a lot of care. This guy will be back on his feet in no time.
As you finish tending to the fox, you hear a rustling in the trees above. Then, from out of the foliage, drops a tiny figure, no more than a foot tall. It's an elderly gnome with a long white beard, dressed in a red pointy hat and a blue tunic.
Blimey, this old-timer is even smaller than me.
Oh, my stars, thank you so much for helping my dear friend Swift here. You see, I'm David the Gnome, and I've been tending to the animals of this forest for centuries. Centuries, I tell you. Swift and I were just on our way back from gathering some herbs, very rare, very potent, for some of the forest creatures when we got separated. Poor Swift must have wandered into one of those nasty bandit traps. Oh, you don't know how grateful I am, really. It's not every day you come across folks as kind-hearted as you lot. And would you believe it? I've seen some things in my time. Let me tell you, gnomes have been around these parts for ages, but we're not as visible as we used to be, no siree. Nowadays, it's all about staying hidden, avoiding trouble, and just keeping to ourselves. But I digress. Did I mention I'm a healer? Yes, an animal healer, though I dabble in other remedies as well, here and there, when the need arises. So, what brings you fine folk into the deep, dark woods? Not that I'm complaining, mind you, quite the opposite. It's just unusual to see adventurers this far off the main road, especially ones as capable as yourselves. You must have some fascinating stories. Do tell. I'm all ears, I tell you. And Swift here, oh Swift, he's been with me for ages.
Good gracious, this little guy talks more than Eldorn.
Creature and so smart. Why,
What the bloody hell? We helped this guy out and this is how he repays us? He won't shut up. See? This is why I try and make a habit of bot helping randos.
Now, I'll bet
Stop
you're wondering where
talking!
you're headed
Please
and why.
shut up!
And I must
God,
say,
he can't hear
I might
us
just
over
have some
himself
helpful
talking.
information for you. But
Let's just wait.
First, let me thank
sure
you
this can't go
again,
on
because
forever.
without your help, Swift might have been in real trouble. And that would have been a terrible, terrible shame, wouldn't it? Oh dear, where was I? Oh yes, how rude of me. I forgot to ask your names. Yes, names are important, very important after all. So, who do I have the pleasure of thanking? Go on, don't be shy.
Well, I'm Umbrin. Nice to meet you, David.
Chef Tinkleton. Yeah, that's me. Good to meet you, mate.
I'm Neeg, and let me just say, I love a good long story. You remind me of someone can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm sure it'll come to me.
Yosef here. Look, this is all very nice, but we're kind of in the middle of something. We need to find a bandit hideout.
Bandits, you say? Oh, yes. I know all about them. Nasty bunch they are. Always causing trouble, setting traps, making life difficult for all the woodland creatures. Swift here must have stumbled right into one of their snares. Terrible. Just terrible. But if it's the hideout you're looking for, I can show you the way, no problem. You see, I've lived in these woods longer than you can imagine, and I know every nook and cranny, every twist and turn. It's not far from here, actually. just a bit further into the forest. But I must warn you, it's well hidden. These bandits, they're clever, always on the lookout for folks like you. But don't you worry. With Swift leading the way, you'll be there in no time. Now come along, no time to waste. We'll get you to that hideout, and then you can deal with those ruffians. But be careful, they're a tricky bunch, very tricky. Now, did I ever tell you about the time Swift and I outwitted a whole pack of wolves?
Shut up!
It's a great
God,
story,
he can't hear
really.
us over himself
So there
talking.
we were.
Wait, before you go on, let me introduce myself properly. I am Eldoran, author of Art of the Weave. Perhaps you've heard of it? Pulls out his book proudly. It's a comprehensive guide to the magical energies that bind the multiverse together. Quite the bestseller in certain circles, if I do say so myself.
Oh, fascinating. Let me have a look. Let me just see here. Ah, yes, I see. This part here about the convergence of ley lines is quite accurate, actually, though you might want to add a note about the specific resonance patterns in elder forests, such as this one, mind you. And here, this tale about the Battle of Arcane Peaks. Goodness, that was a close one, wasn't it? The weave nearly unraveled completely, but for the timely intervention of a certain druid, if I recall correctly. Oh, but you've done a fine job recounting it. No, quite fine indeed. I didn't even know Gordon's uncles either. Enthralling, but probably not true.
No, it is all true, believe me. But you read that entire passage just now?
Why, yes. And a good read it is, too. You've got talent, young man. Though I suppose young is relative, isn't it? I've been around for centuries, you see. One learns to read rather quickly when one...
David the Gnome hops onto Swift's back with surprising agility, despite his age. The fox seems used to this and stands patiently as David adjusts his seat.
All right, my friends, hop, skip, and a jump, and we'll be at the bandits' hideout in no time. Now stay close and watch your step. These woods can be tricky if you don't know the way.
Swift starts trotting ahead, his gait smooth and practiced. David keeps talking as he leads the group deeper into the forest, his voice cheerful and full of energy. The group follows closely, trying to keep up, but the thickening underbrush and winding paths make it difficult to stay on track.
This better not be a wild goose chase. Though wild goose would go well on my menu, been a while. Ugh, I've had enough of these bloody woods.
I have to agree. Are we sure this little gnome knows where he's going?
The group starts to notice that the path they're on is getting more convoluted. The trees grow denser, and the light filtering through the canopy becomes dimmer. David, however, doesn't seem the least bit concerned.
Oh, don't you worry. I've been down this path 1,000 times, maybe more. You see, the secret to navigating these woods is to follow the natural curves and bends, not the straight lines. Straight lines are for roads, not forests. And did I ever tell you about the time Swift and I helped out a lost dwarf in these very woods? Poor fellow was as round as he was tall, huffing and puffing like a steam engine. But we got him out. Yes, we did. Took a bit of clever thinking and a lot of patience, but we managed it. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the bandits. Nasty lot they are. Always setting traps, always causing trouble. But if there's one thing I've learned...
You know, David, that reminds me of the time I was in the jungles of Kazuya. Beautiful place, but real dangerous. I was out there on a mission to find a rare flower, the blue blossom of blatherwort, which only blooms under a full moon. I had a guide, Wild Thing Willie, big fella, part pigment, part something else, not quite sure what. Willie could smell danger a mile away, literally. Saved my hide more than once, let me tell ya. We were out there for days, wrestling with vines that had minds of their own, dodging lightning bugs that could zap you right out of your boots, but Willie, he just laughed it off, said it was all part of the adventure. We finally found that blue blossom, and wouldn't you know it, it started singing the most beautiful song I'd ever heard. Willie and I, we sat there and listened until the sun came up. Never forgot that night. You see, sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination. And it's always good to have a buddy like Willie by your side. Never know when you might need someone.
No, please stop it. They are bonding. Please do something. Of course they are bonding.
Exactly. You've got it, Neeg. You and I were cut from the same cloth, I can tell. It's all about understanding the land, reading the signs, and knowing when to act. Swift here, oh, he's a natural at it. Born and bred in these woods he was. Knows every nook and cranny, every hidden path. We've had our fair share of adventures, haven't we, Swift? Why, there was that one time with the trolls. Nasty brutes. Trolls. Always trying to trick you. But Swift and I, we were too quick for them. We led them right into their own trap, we did. They never saw it coming. Oh, what a day that was. And the thing about trolls is, they never learn. You'd think after a few centuries, they'd pick up a trick or two, but no. Same old tricks, same old stories. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, why some folks never seem to learn from their mistakes. But not us, Neeg, not us. We learn, we adapt, and we keep moving forward.
Huh? That's whatever you were saying there for you to say. How about we all shut the hell up for a while,
Oh, David, you wouldn't believe who I met one time, Croaky Kevin? Or was it Froggy Fred? No, it was Croaky Kevin, the smartest fellow this side of the bog of befuddlement. Kevin was a frogman, a real thinker, always had his nose AR snout. Whatever he's got in a book, he lived in this big old library, right in the middle of the bog, built out of twisted trees and moss.
Are they even talking to each other at this point, or just waiting for one to stop talking so that they can then talk? By the divine, fast forward this part, Ben.
As David and Neeg continue their long-winded conversation, the rest of the group struggles to keep up. The path is winding and difficult, and it feels like they're going in circles. But Neeg, walking right alongside David, doesn't seem to notice. In fact, he seems more engaged than ever, swapping stories and anecdotes as if they were old friends.
David, are we close? We've been walking for a while now.
Bandits, you say? Oh, yes. I know all about them. Nasty bunch they are. Always causing trouble, setting traps, making life difficult.
The two of them continue to share increasingly bizarre stories as they lead the party through the forest. Despite the seemingly aimless wandering, David's confidence never wavers. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the trees start to thin, and the group emerges into a small clearing. David halts Swift, holding up a hand to signal the group to stop.
There, just ahead, the bandits' hideout. Told you we'd get here, didn't I? Now, be careful, gentlemen. Many go in with those bandits, kicking and screaming, gnashing their teeth. None come out. Let me warn you, and this goes for you too, Umbran. Don't stick to the shadows. They are not your friend.
All right, folks. Great session today. We're going to leave it here at this cliffhanger. The party's just about to confront those bandits, but we'll see how that plays out next time.
Great session, Ben. Really feeling into my character now.
Yes, jolly good. Really had a good time. Even the wee little gnome guy grew on me. I used to love his show when I was younger.
Look around you. There are many things to see that some would say could never be.
Yes, quite the change of pace from that emotionally scarring session from before.
I can still hear them talking. Must destroy eardrums.
Also, grew up with David the Gnome. It's now my son's favorite show, and had included him as an Easter egg for my IRL campaign. He may be back, who knows? As always, I want to thank everyone who's been listening and supporting the show. It really means a lot to have you all along for this journey. If you're enjoying what we're doing here, consider supporting us on Patreon. It's a huge help in keeping the series going and getting new content out to you. I don't intend to burn out anytime soon, but getting this series out there is key. I've got hours worth of content coming up, and I'm excited to share it with you all as we grow our little adventuring community. So if you're having a good time, share the podcast with your friends, leave a review, and let's see how far we can take this. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the adventure as much as we are creating it. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time for another exciting session. Until then, take care, and happy adventuring.
I want to do the outro this time. Folks, don't forget to like your own comment and subscribe to your own channel. Sharing is caring.
Joe, what in the Kentucky Fried Hell was that?